Hey beans, welcome back. It's so good to see you all today. I hope you're doing well. So, as you can see, I am not joined by Boba today. She's having a nap. I am joined by Piggy Smalls, the OG emotional support plush. Hence why he looks a little bit squeezed to death. He's been very loved on, let's put it that way. But he's joining me today to talk about emotions, and I actually don't really feel like I need emotional support for this, but I just think you guys should meet all of my babies. They're so cute and soft and squishy. I love them so much. So yeah, we're going to be talking about emotions today, and you know, Piggy Smalls is going to be in and out. He's currently balancing on my knee, so I don't know how long I can keep this up, because I'm a wiggly talker, but we'll see how it goes. So, as you guys know, I currently see a counsellor once a week, every single week. And one of the things that we have been talking about in quite great detail is emotions. And my counsellor has presented to me this idea of emotional literacy, which, to be honest, isn't a concept that I'm new to. I've heard it kind of used in the circles, on the online circles that I frequent, you know, emotional intelligence, emotional literacy. But he's been really helping me to kind of build up my emotional literacy, and that has been quite an interesting experience, because I would have never considered myself prior to be an emotionally illiterate person. So that's been really, really interesting, and I wanted to share with you today some of the things that I've learned about emotional literacy. I have had a lot of difficulty explaining how I feel or why I feel the way I feel. So this was something that was introduced to me by my counsellor, and I've been picking up and learning kind of different tips and ways to become more of an emotionally literate person. Before I begin talking about emotional literacy, I should probably explain my understanding of it and what it is. Somebody who has a high level of emotional literacy will be able to kind of identify why they feel the way they feel, what that emotion is trying to communicate, and to understand how to communicate and react to their emotions more effectively. So if you're somebody who's sitting here now thinking, that is the opposite of me, that is actually quite normal. A lot of people really struggle with this, putting names to emotions or putting names to other people's emotions, and there's a number of different reasons why someone can struggle to do that. It's not a reflection of any sort of moral failure or moral standing. It just means that sometimes we have to put in a little bit more work. And that's what my counsellor has been really helping me to do, by setting me little tasks to do each week that I have found so useful in kind of understanding myself a lot more. So the first exercise I was given was to spend a week labeling my emotions and to make note of what those emotions were throughout the days. The way that I do this is every time I felt a new emotion, I would take a look at my feelings chart and I would pinpoint the closest one to what I was feeling. I'd make a note of it and I'd put the timestamp as well, and any kind of keywords. Then at the end of the day, I'd have a list of all the different emotions I was feeling throughout the day. This exercise was super insightful, and it really helped me to identify certain patterns in my feelings and emotions. It's definitely really helpful, and I would recommend doing this at least one day a week. I do it every day, but I recognize that's because I have the time and the space to do it. I literally work from home, so I sit at a desk all day. So I literally have the time and resources to sit down every day, all day, and write my emotions down whenever they come up. And I know that might not be viable, so doing it one day a week will be a really good way to start if you're not like me and you don't have time to do it every single day. The second tip that I was given, or the second piece of homework that I was given by my counsellor, was to notice how emotions affect my body, or where does the emotion sit within my body. This probably sounds a little bit strange, Like, what do you mean? Emotions are not tangible physical things, but emotions do manifest in different people in different ways. For example, maybe if you feel lonely, you might feel pain in your chest. If you experience anxiety consistently, you might then have migraines. So that's what I mean by noticing where the emotion sits in your body. I genuinely never realized that different emotions affect me physically in different ways. I just always struggle to kind of define how I feel. How do you feel today? Sad, tired, pain. Okay, I do feel pain, but where does that pain manifest? Anxiety for me manifests in my head. I start to feel very foggy, very heavy. It leads to me feeling really tired and having extremely bad migraines. Sadness sits in my chest. My chest literally feels like it's constricting. I get lots of pain. I've genuinely felt like I've been having a heart attack before, even though I know that I'm physically not. Anger sits somewhere in my stomach. I get really bad, intense stomach aches when I feel frustrated or irritated. These are really good things to know. Really take stock of where that emotion sits within your body. Do you feel it in your knees? Do you feel it in your chest? Do you get headaches? Do you get arm aches? Do you get stomach aches? Do you get anxious and you feel like you need to go to the toilet but you don't actually need to? These things can make us feel a little bit uncomfortable because whenever it's time to talk about the body, we get a bit squeamish, but they're really good to take stock of because it helps you approach your mental health in a more holistic way. Medication has done so much for me in terms of helping me to get my mental health under control. However, before I was able to actually speak to anyone professional, I used to self-medicate a lot. I was constantly taking Tylenol and ibuprofens for headaches that wouldn't go away no matter what I did. Realizing that there's a connection between how I feel and the physical elements has really helped me claim back a little bit of my power. Realizing that sometimes these aches and pains can be caused by your mental state can help you look at other ways in which you can treat those physical ailments. So I do think it's really useful and I would 10 out of 10 recommend this exercise. The third one I found a little bit more difficult, and that's to kind of figure out the origins of your emotion. Have you ever described yourself as feeling a certain way for no reason? There's always a reason, but sometimes we just don't know where that seed came from. We don't know where that emotion came from. It can feel like our emotions just spring up on us out of nowhere, and that is very, very rarely the case. What has triggered you? What has made you feel this way? Is it something somebody said? Is it the way someone looked at you? Is it a thought that popped into your head that has now grown? These things can be really, really useful. This one has been so tricky for me, not because I haven't been able to figure out why, but because I don't really know what to do about it afterwards. But again, having that knowledge in my arsenal can only be a good thing. At the end of the day, building emotional literacy is all about building your understanding. When you build your understanding, you can figure out where to go from there. So those are the tips that I wanted to share with you today. I hope that you found some of these useful. And if you did, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can grow our little family and we can all go on this really lovely journey of self-development together. I love you guys all so much, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Goodbye. Goodbye.